Hello, listeners, and welcome to another edition of Bookie Bashing. Week 7 NFL season is here. We are very excited to be back with you. I am your host, Anthony Nikki Jr., alongside, as always, my two trusted colleagues, Mr. Ace Berg.
This is when the season starts getting hot, folks. This is when it starts getting real exciting.
And Joey Staxxx.
What's going on, guys? Got a bunch of good-looking games this week. Pretty card. Let's go get some money.
Yeah, last weekend disappointing for the first time. 1-4, worst week of the year so far. All that means we're going to turn it around. We preach it to you all the time. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. We do not let 1 week bring us down. We love these 5 games this weekend. Got looking at this really Monday night, Tuesday morning, and public perceptions have really just made us like these games more. A lot of value this week. We want to take advantage. Smack your bookies this weekend. Don't want to waste any more time. Very excited about this Week 7 NFL season. Let's start them off at the top.
Cincinnati at Indianapolis.
Opening up this Week 7 card, loving the Indianapolis Colts at home here as the Bengals come in. Big game here. Colts, 4 straight wins. They've looked very, very good. The offense is starting to get it together. Bradshaw and Richardson becoming a pretty nice duo running the football. Andrew Luck has gotten it to all his players so far. Tight ends getting loved. I think you're going to get some Reggie Wayne love this week, get some touchdown action. Bengals team comes in, and they were really hot to start the season. 3-0, and then the public came all over them on that New England game Sunday night following the bye, and they kind of went back down to reality. After a tie last week at home against Carolina, seen a lot of flaws here in this Bengals team. The defense hasn't looked as hard-nosed or tough. Now they got to take on one of the best high-flying offenses in the game in Indianapolis in that dome. Bengals, 3-7-1 against the spread in their last 11 road games. Coming into Indy, where the Colts have gone 17-5 against the spread in their last 22 games at home. I just think laying a small number like 3, I like the Colts to take advantage of this game, beat up on a Bengals team that really isn't as good as I think the public thought early on. Take the Colts here with a big victory at home.
Folks, the Colts offense is absolutely rolling now. It's a machine that can't be stopped. The offensive line has really protected Andrew Luck much better this season. Yet they're getting their touchdowns in very unorthodox ways. Amon Bradshaw doesn't have a rushing touchdown this year, yet he leads the team with 5 receiving touchdowns. In fact, the only wide receiver that has more than 1 touchdown is Hakeem Nicks. Reggie Wayne and T.Y. Hilton both have 1. I could see both of them getting in the end zone, getting themselves their 2nd touchdown of the year. I like Andrew Luck to be able to torch this defense that, when they're on the road, is very average, guys. They have a few injuries. They're not necessarily playing at the top of their game. They're not getting to the quarterback like they did last season, and it's one of the things that's making them a little bit more average. I think the Colts defense is playing just well enough right now that they can slow down a Cincinnati team that doesn't have A.J. Green and doesn't have the best offensive line either. I really think that the Bengals offense won't be able to keep up with the Colts offense, and that the Colts win pretty easily this Sunday.
When I think of the Cincinnati Bengals, I think of defense, and then the next thing I think of is A.J. Green. The defense hasn't been there this season. On the road, they are a different team. They don't play well on the road. A.J. Green, out this week. The 2 big factors of why I like this Cincinnati team when I do is based off of those 2 things, and neither of them are going to be there this week. We have Andrew Luck and that high-flying, high-powered, high-octane offense that is going to absolutely 100% put up points. You know you're going to get that week in, week out with this team. They look great. They're clicking on all cylinders, and they're at home. Andy Dalton in that offense is just not the high-flying, point-scoring offense that is needed to compete with this Indianapolis Colts team. You need a team that can score points if you want to beat this red-hot Indianapolis Colts team. The Colts stay hot. We ride this team out until they give us a reason not to. Colts roll.
Yeah, love this Indy team in this dome. They've proved it over the last 2 seasons, and I think they're going to continue to all year. At the end of this season, Colts might be one of your top teams in the AFC. They prove they're better than a Bengals team, another playoff team this week. Love these Colts to roll here. 27-17 final.
Carolina at Green Bay.
Here at Bookie Bashing, don't get a lot of total plays, but when we do, we really like it. If you've played all of our totals so far this year, you've yet to pick a loser. And we're going to come at you here with the over at Lambeau Field. Green Bay heads back home. Panthers coming in. Carolina put up 37 points last week on the road against a better Bengals defense than Green Bay has. They've showed they can score. Cam Newton, when his back's against the wall and when he has to score points, he's shown that he has the ability to do that. Carolina has gone over in their last 4 games overall. Green Bay comes in 5-1 over in their last 6. Here's a Packers team that struggled last week a little bit offensively in a tough Miami environment, in that heat. Still managed to get a victory, put up 24 points. Now Aaron Rodgers heads back home where the offense puts up a lot. I think he's going to hit a lot of guys this week. Jordy Nelson gets some love. Eddie Lacy pounds the ball. Green Bay could be up big early. I love that, though, because Cam Newton has the ability to come back. The Carolina defense hasn't been as consistent as it has in years past. Rodgers has no problem putting up points. I think Carolina and company comes back, makes it a game. Both teams could be in the 30. Love this thing to go over in Lambeau.
The Carolina Panthers last week really proved in Cincinnati that they can go on the road in a tough environment and still put up points offensively. They're in a similar environment when they go to Lambeau Field this week. If you watched the game last week, Cam Newton looked like the old Cam Newton. They had him running the ball again. They had him going up the middle. They had him getting first downs when it was 3rd and short. It really extended drive. It allowed them to put a lot of points up on the board. Now, Packers are really clicking offensively also. The last 3 weeks, they've been putting up pretty good totals, and that includes last week when they were in Miami, in the heat, really battling the elements, and they still put up 27. You know, it really shows that this Packers team isn't going to stop. Now, when the Packers are home favorites to 7 or more points, they're 17-11-1. Overall, 61% against the spread. That just shows that Vegas trusts this offense to keep putting points up on the board. Now, I think the Panthers can keep up with this offense for a little bit, but I think ultimately the Packers get themselves into the 30s, and this is a real high-scoring game, guys.
This is Aaron's favorite time of the year. The guy has the offense clicking by this time. He's got all his receivers in check. Everybody's on the same page, and they are just clicking, rolling, putting up points. You guys know the cast of receivers they got out there, amongst the best in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers has Eddie Lacy to hand the ball off to. They're going to mix everything up. This Carolina Panthers defense has not looked great all season long. They're on the road. I don't expect anything to change here. Cam Newton, however, he's a gamer. He just tied last week, and as a gamer, you know, that's something that you're going to want to come back at with a nice big win. You're going to want to do everything you can to put points on the board, and Cam Newton will do exactly that. He does it with his feet. He does it in the air. We're assuming Kelvin Benjamin's going to play this week. I really think he will. Jason Vaughn has looked great out there, too. The offense looks good. That's not the problem. It's the defense, and that's going to be a perfect formula for a lot of points being scored, and we're going to roll with that over.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of points here at Lambeau in this one. Take this thing to cruise over that posted total, 38-31 final.
Cleveland at Jacksonville.
Definitely one of our favorite plays this week. Home underdog, Jacksonville Jaguars getting 6 points. Cleveland Browns coming in. Love the value. Take the Jags. Take the points at home here. Jaguars team continuing to get better. I know you might not notice it in that win column yet, but Blake Bortles going into his 4th start now after getting blown out in San Diego in his first time. They've lost by 8 to Pittsburgh, then lost by 2 last week to Tennessee. This is the week they put it together, get a victory. Defense has looked very well for Jacksonville the last 2 weeks, having giving up 16 points and 17 points. I think they continue to play well. Bortles has shown he can manage the game. I think now he gets you a win this week. Shows how good he can be. Got a great arm. I think the Browns come in here in a trap spot. Just had a huge win at home last week against the division rival Steelers. This is letdown written all over it. 70% of the public all over the Browns, laying 6 on the road. Browns haven't laid 6 on the road since 1995. I got a newsflash for you, folks. As I always say, nothing ever as good as it seems. Nothing's ever as bad as it seems. In the middle, reality lies. Jacksonville's going to show up this week. I think they get their first win. Team's not going to give up. Blake Bortles has a lot to prove still. Cleveland's just in a tough spot here. Trap written all over it. I don't think they're as good as the public thinks right now. Go the other way. Take the Jacksonville Jaguars to possibly get their first win of the season, getting the 6 points at home.
Blake Bortles and this Jacksonville Jaguar team have really improved. We now have seen that Blake Bortles can manage a football game and do what it takes to hang in there and come close to a win. And I think he's going to do just that again this week. We have, like Tony said, a big emotional win for these Cleveland Browns. And now they're on the road facing this determined, hungry, young Jacksonville team. They're going to give it their all this week. They're going to try and get that first win. And I'm going to go ahead and say that they do just that. They get that first win this week. I love the 6 points at home, taking the Jags here.
Guys, as crazy as it might sound, Jacksonville Jaguars are one of the best value plays this weekend. Right now, Blake Bortles is clearly showing that he's NFL ready. He's not making mistakes. He doesn't look overpowered. When he's facing up against a guy like Dick LeBeau that's been in the league for decades and that can really just demolish a rookie quarterback, he doesn't look horrible. Now, I'm not saying he put up a lot of points that game, but he's not making the bad turnover. Now he's going up against the Browns team that when they're on the road can look kind of bad, and I could see them just looking right over this Jacksonville game. They're a young team. A guy like Brian Hoyer has really played above his level. I don't believe Brian Hoyer is a successful starting quarterback in this league just yet. I'm going to bet that Brian Hoyer has his first real bad game of the season, and I could see Blake Bortles having his first breakout game of the season. I could see him really spreading the ball around. If you look at the Jaguars right now, they have 15 different guys with a reception. A third of them actually have a receiving touchdown. Blake Bortles right now is second in the team in rushing, and they're giving Denard Robinson the ball a lot less. They're going to give Johnson the ball more, and I think he's going to produce much better for them in the running back position. Even with Gerhard out, I think that this team could put up some pretty good rushing numbers. I think Bortles throws for 2 touchdowns. I think he could even run for 1 or 2, getting his first rushing touchdown this week. I could see the Jaguars just manhandling the Browns this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know if they manhandle, but I think it's a good play. Cleveland, not a team that should be laying 6 points on the road anywhere, including against an 0-for Jaguar squad. I think the Jags show up here with Blake Bortles and company, get their first win of the season, 24-23 outright victory against the Browns.
Tennessee at Washington.
Coming at you with another underdog play here, as we love these Tennessee Titans getting 6 points on the road in Washington. Titans team only 2-4 so far this season. Got a hard-fought win against the Jaguars last week, 16-14. Defense looked good, showed up after Bernard Pollard called him out the week before. And now Jake Locker's practiced the last couple days. I think he comes back. He's got a great relationship with Ken Wisenhunt. I think the two of them makes that team a lot better than Charlie Whitehurst at quarterback. That could be problems for Washington. Here's a Redskins team that after losing by 3 to the Eagles a month ago has been beaten 3 times by double digits. I already don't think there's much left in the tank for this team. 1-5. RG3's gone for the year. I think this team's already quitting, seeing how much they're 5 games back already in the NFC East. Redskins 4-10 against the spread in the last 14 games overall. I don't think they should be laying 6 points against anybody, even at home against the Titans. Titans get a little bit of momentum here, get another victory this week in Washington.
The Titans are without a doubt the best value play that you have this weekend. Like Tony said, the Redskins should not be laying 6 points to any team out there. Now, I'm not saying the Tennessee Titans are a great football team, but the Redskins are definitely not a great team. If you look at the 12 teams in the NFL right now that are under 500, they're combined 4-18 against the spread this year when they're a favorite. That means that the Redskins have no shot at covering this game. The Tennessee Titans are just going to grind out the clock. They're going to make less mistakes than a Redskins team that seems to false start on almost every drive at least once. They're one of the most penalized teams in the whole NFL. Now you get a Tennessee Titans team that really likes to spread the ball around. They have 11 different guys with a reception. They have 2 or 3 running backs that all produce pretty well. Bishop Sankey is starting to put up all right numbers. You got Sean Green, who's still consistently solid. You got 4 different guys with a rushing touchdown. I don't really care if it's Whitehurst or Locker. Obviously, I like Jake Locker better, but I don't really think it matters this weekend. I don't think the Redskins offense is going to be able to put up much of anything. I could see Kirk Cousins having another game where he just looks absolutely miserable. His stock is just absolutely plummeting right now. They should have traded him when they had a chance. I like the Titans to absolutely roll over these Redskins.
Love these 6 points in this game here. Titans are a solid team. They can play some defense. The offense shows flashes of, some explosiveness at times. They got to get that run game going, and they will, and they know that. My man Delaney Walker, he's been a little quiet recently, but he's going to get a lot of action this week. You're going to hear his name called in the end zone a couple times. You got him in fantasy, make sure you start him. We got Kirk Cousins, who had a golden opportunity this year to come in and get himself a starting job, and he's looked horrible, which surprises me. I was a believer in Kirk Cousins, but he's just looked horrible this season. The run game, is about all they got working for him right now. The overall team looks like they have some problems. I don't know what the problem is, but they haven't figured it out yet, and I don't see that changing here. I don't believe that this team has any right laying 6 points. That's for damn sure. And we get a Tennessee Titans team getting 6 points, and we're going to go ahead and take that. Titans up.
Yeah, I think the Titans show up here on the road this week, especially if Jake Locker comes back at quarterback. Redskins, I think, already kind of given up on this season. They're looking up at 2 teams with only 1 loss. They only got 1 win through 6 weeks. I think they give up here. Titans get a victory on the road, 20-17 final.
Houston at Pittsburgh.
Last play of the week coming at you prime time Monday night. Loving these Pittsburgh Steelers at home, laying the 3.5. As always, do not get beat by the field goal. Going to say to buy that hook down to 3. But we think these Steelers roll against the Houston Texans. Texans, as I said from day one, not a huge believer. And I think they're an 8-8 team at best. And this is a tough draw for them on Monday night. There's a Texans team 0-6 against the spread in the last 6 Monday night games. They got to head to Pittsburgh against a team that has something to prove here. Roethlisberger and company's such an up-and-down team. This is a roller coaster ride team. But they have something to prove after a tough loss in the division against Cleveland on the road last week. That was an embarrassment to them. Pittsburgh wants to get a victory here, and I think they do. Tomlin gets this defense prepared after giving up 31 points on the road last weekend. I think Houston has trouble moving the ball. I don't think you get much out of Arian Foster at all this week. On the other side, Roethlisberger hooks up a bunch with Antonio Brown. Big night for Brown. I think you get at least 2 touchdowns from him. Texas defense going to have trouble slowing them down. I'm predicting Pittsburgh and possibly a rout in this one.
Yeah, Tony, I love how you just brought up Antonio Brown. I think he's really one of the players that's going to make this game pretty easy for the Steelers to win. I don't see anyone on the defensive side of the ball for Houston that's going to be able to slow Antonio Brown at all. Ben Roethlisberger is going to be able to get him the ball easily all night, and I think under the bright lights of Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh's really going to show their dominance over Houston. So far this season, they're gaining more yards than Houston, they're allowing less yards than Houston, and they're easily controlling the clock better. Now, those are 3 key things to look at in any game, but when Pittsburgh is just much better than Houston is, you know Houston's going to have problems all over the board. Now, how many touchdowns can J.J. Watt really get this season? I'm willing to bet that he doesn't get another one this Monday night. And outside of him, I'm not really too scared of anybody else. Arian Foster is going to get a handful of yards, but I could see him not getting a touchdown this week. I really don't think Houston has any way to keep up with these Steelers at home under the bright lights of Monday night.
Yeah, we get this home field advantage here, and we're only laying a field goal. Gotta love that on a primetime team. Got a much better quarterback with Ben Roethlisberger. Ryan Fitzpatrick just can't get the job done. The guy belongs on the bench. You need to let him grab some pine over there in Houston. Love what we got going on here. The Houston Texans, I still don't believe in them, okay? I still don't believe in this team. Without J.J. Watt, they got 3 more losses on their record. Arian Foster has looked nice. He's been running the ball well, but I trust that this Pittsburgh defense will game plan for that and keep him in check. We have a banged-up Andre Johnson. Other than that, not too many other weapons. DeAndre Hopkins, he's been playing well this season, but nobody that's going to really give us a worry here because we got a Pittsburgh Steelers team who can battle and hang with you and then come and beat you at the end of the game. We're only laying a field goal here, like I said before, so we're going to have to go ahead and take that with the home field advantage. Pittsburgh Steelers winning cover.
Yeah, love these Steelers on primetime Monday night. As always, play it safe, buy the hook down, make this thing a field goal. But I think just a lot of pride there. A lot of veterans on this defense. Palomalo and company gets the job done after a disappointing week last week. Take the Steelers on Monday night, 27-14 final. So that is going to wrap things up for this Week 7 card. We love these 5 games. Really do think you got 5 locks, 5 good winners for you. Going to start things off with those Indianapolis Colts at home, laying 3 points against the Bengals. They get the job done, 27-17 final. Going to roll with a total play. We've yet to lose on a total this year. Going to take the over in the Green Bay-Carolina game. Green Bay gets the victory 38-31, but that thing cruises over the posted total. Going to get you with an upset winner. Jacksonville Jaguars at home getting the 6 points. Love them to give you an upset win, 24-23, outright over the Cleveland Browns. Going to take another upset winner in the Tennessee Titans on the road. Getting 6 points in Washington. They get the job done outright 20-17. And then going to roll with the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night prime time. Play it smart, buy the hook down to 3, but they get a double-digit victory for you. 27-14 final over the Houston Texans. Love this card. As we said, we've been prepped since Monday to get this thing out. We love these games. Really highly anticipated weekend. 5 winners for you. Very excited. For my 2 colleagues, as always, wishing you a great weekend, Mr. Joey Staxxx and Mr. Ace Berg. I am your host, Anthony Nikki Jr., saying we will see you here next time at www.bookiebashingats.com.